You know that when the sun starts shining, the days get longer, it is hammer time.
Big thanks to Kamado Joe for sponsoring this episode.
For this recipe, I picked up a couple of beautiful beef hammers. A couple of years ago, I had to special order these, but nowadays you can find them in your butcher shop, ready for you to pick them up. Let's take these beauties out of the package, and as you can see, the silver skin is still on. And we're gonna leave those on because it's gonna hold the beef hammer together while we cook it. And of course, we want to make our beef hammers as tasty as possible. That's why we're going to use a binder. And in this case, that's going to be mustard. I'm going to use a light yellow mustard, and a little bit of it will do the trick. Just rub it in real good and then give it its first layer of seasoning. And in this case, I'm using the PITMASTERX Texas seasoning. On top of that, I'm going to sprinkle the classic barbecue seasoning. And together with the mustard and the Texas barbecue seasoning, we now have a flavor system of 3 layers that's going to make these beef hammers absolutely freaking delicious. And of course, we're going to add another layer of flavor on top of these beef hammers by smoking them. And that's why I'm going to fire up the Kamado Joe. First, I'm gonna load it up with charcoal, put some oak smoke wood in, heat deflectors, grill grates in. I set the barbecue to a temperature of 140 degrees Celsius, and I'm now gonna let it first come up to temperature before I set in these beautiful beef shanks. Because of the divide and conquer system, I put the beef shanks in the center and still have them fit under the lid. It's been a little bit over 2 hours, but I got a notification that the core temperature of my beef hammers is 70 degrees, and I kind of estimated it to be 2 hours. At 2.5 hours, they look like this. Oh, incroyable. Wow. Bone marrow was bubbling, we got beautiful smoke color, and we got that crust that developed on the outside. This thing looks really good, and therefore I might as well wrap it up. It's not gonna look any better if I smoke it and expose it to smoke any longer. It's just gonna get darker. And on a ceramic grill, you don't wanna take it that far. We got the good looks, we got the good color. Now it's time to wrap this up and actually start cooking this beautiful piece of beef. Now the way that I like to do it is just get the aluminum foil and kind of make it into a basket and then wrap it up on top. And the other one, look at that, another beauty. Red mahogany from the smoke color, beautiful crust. This is gonna be so tasty. Back on the barbecue, I'm gonna let the Kamado Joe, will it fit? No, it's not gonna fit. With the aluminum foil, it no longer fits. No problem though, because all I need to do, and that's the cool thing about this divider and conquer system, I can just lower the grill grates with my tongue, no problem at all, and then I can set it on top of that lower grill grate. Do the same thing for the other side. Second one, close the lid, and now they fit again, and I'm just gonna let the Kamado Joe do its job. I got my time, I got my temperatures, I got everything. I'm going to take this up to a core temperature of 98 degrees Celsius before I'm going to take another look at it. Now you might think, whoa, he said 98. That's true. But the last 2 degrees we're going to do unwrapped because this is going to be juicy. But I'm going to add another layer of flavor to this. Yeah, what do you think? We're going to stop there? Oh, we're going to build this up even further. I'm going to open this up carefully. Let's do the one first. Oh, spectacular. Look at this. You see how that almost falls apart? I don't know if you can see this, but it is scary. Carefully get that thermometer out. Ooh, that is scary. But we made it. Look at that. Now look at these juices. Just gonna pour it over them. Don't want to miss out on any of that moisture. Now that looks freaking delicious. I'm gonna put these two back on the barbecue. Carefully. Whoa. I'm gonna save these juices. Now this is the best gravy you can ever make, au jus. Even if you put this in the freezer or in the fridge, store it for another day, you're gonna be super happy you saved that stuff, because on some potatoes with a little bit of rice, they're gonna make anything taste better. I'm gonna take a little bit of barbecue sauce, and I'm using the Blues Hog or Raspberry Chipotle. It's a super sweet sauce and it has a little bit of heat to it. I'm just gonna drizzle that on and then brush it in. Now the reason that I like to put on the sauce last minute is because of the sugars. Most barbecue sauces have loads of sugars and therefore they tend to burn easily. Now if you want to prevent that, you just put them on in the last minute let it cook together, and then if it chars a little bit, that's fine, but it's not gonna fully burn. I'm gonna close the lid, give it another couple minutes. Now that we got that core temperature of 98 degrees Celsius, we gotta be extra careful. Everything's sauced up, everything's good to go. Just imagine one of those dropping off of the bone. Now, the second problem is we gotta let these rest. You know, we can't eat them at this temperature, so I'm gonna give them another 20 minutes to rest so that they can slowly bring back the juices and render that fat to the place that we need them to be. Patience is just the key when cooking one of these things. Oh boy, but I'm hungry now. If you can touch the bones, you know it's done. All right. Are they gonna fall off if I give them a shake? I bet you they are. Let's just find out together. Oh, yeah. Oh boy, look at that. Oh, this just falls off the bone. Look at that smoke ring. That is insane. Pulled beef, smoke ring, beautiful crust, juicy meat on the inside. That looks absolutely freaking delicious. To me, this is what barbecue is about. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be super over the top with everything on. Just a little bit of seasoning, a little bit of sauce, some thyme. Not thyme from the garden, the thyme on the watch. A little bit of thyme. But there's one more thing. In here is the best stuff. This is bone marrow. This is like the bonus gravy that's hiding in the bone. Let me just get it out. That's gotta be part of your meal. You can't just leave it where it is. You gotta get it all. What you have to do to get it out doesn't matter to me as long as you get it out. Just go all in, and it just makes it even better. Get a little side of bread, dip it in. Look at that shred. All this delicious meat done with 2.5 hours of smoking, 2 hours wrapped in foil, and then another 15 minutes smoking with barbecue sauce, 30 minutes rest, and that's all it takes. That is all it takes. Now it's your turn. Go do it. You know you're gonna love it. That gravy. Oh,